Ready to roll? Think we can still afford it? I lost almost $1 million.
Probably not. I mean, we should probably just fix this whole thing. I already thought about
almost $1 million. How much are babies? Everyone loves the drunk flow.
Except me.
You hate it.
Because it's so annoying. Nothing.
Doing
You're an
what?
embarrassment.
We ordered 25 bottles. Everybody was drinking.
No wonder you're broke.
Yeah.
See, you don't listen to anything that I'm saying, man.
What? So she said he was holding the kisses too long?
Yeah, and it felt uncomfortable. Like it was too long, and but if you know the book at all, or if you know the movie, you see like how he holds her down and he's aggressive, and that feels like he would do that.
Now that's some horse shit too, because you're an actor. You can't help people unless they actually want to help themselves.
Yeah, there is one thing you can do. We're rolling.
Okay, babe, let's roll. Look at this. Look at us.
Look how cute.
He's like, what did you say he was?
He looks like he's
posing for a picture.
Yeah, he looks like one of those dogs that could be in a magazine, right? His little face. Apollo, you do too. Your body's perfect.
Yeah. I got this from the groomer, and they came with Santa hats, but I must have lost the Santa hats.
They would hate that anyway.
They would just fallen off anyway.
Yeah, they don't even like this really. But look, it has arms.
Yeah.
You guys can see.
Yeah, they don't like wearing this kind of shit. We just do it. Force it on them.
Just for a photo.
Yeah,
and
just
now
for
we
a
have
picture,
video.
buddy. Okay.
They're so cute. I want to squeeze their heads off. Do you like your outfit that I got you?
I do. Check us out. Yeah, we're in some, what are these called? Onesies?
Onesies.
These are the best onesies ever because they're not, the ones you got me the year before rode up my dick.
Okay.
They were like, you got a medium, but it was like.
That was 3 years ago.
Rode up my dick.
Yeah.
It was impossible to
Yeah,
wear
you
that.
could see your balls from the front.
There was a perforation in the middle. Just ball on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't a good look.
That one was not the one.
It went up my ass in your front.
Yeah, this one's good. You also got like a purpley velvety one year. That was good too.
That's the same brand as this. It's called One Piece.
Yeah.
That's what they're called.
Yeah.
So, hey, look at us.
High-end brands.
They are.
Yeah, we got a new sign too.
I won't tell you what I paid for them. Look.
She's all about the signs. What do you think?
Our new logo. I mean, it's our logo. We finally got our actual logo.
I like it.
Yes, I know there's a cord. We know. We'll get rid of it.
All the shit that I don't care about at all.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a cord. Oh, how do we record if there's a cord?
How
People
do we?
can see the cord. Oh my God. Yeah.
Shut up.
So I have this thing. Does it sound? Can you hear it?
Don't care.
That's great. Just came back from Bahamas.
Yeah.
And probably on the plane, some schmutz or some people.
I'm sure you'll get me so sick. And then
perfect timing.
Be dying.
Perfect timing because
the timing is just not working out, is it?
It is though. So I knew this was going to happen. Can you want to tell it or do you want me to tell it?
Eyes are watering. Sorry.
The period situation.
Well, do you want to start? You can tell it. Okay. So when you were in Bahamas and
before then,
I stayed here because I needed to start my IVF injections. And to do that, you have to start your period. And then 3 days into your period, you start your injections, right? So that was supposed to come a very long time ago.
You just skipped it.
Okay. So I skipped a period, which has never happened to me in my life. Not ever. And they said it happens sometimes, stress during this kind of thing. And that happens more than you think. And I'm like, this is so weird. I've never skipped a period in my life. I thought something was wrong with me. I had to go there and get blood work done. And they said to me, we will induce you into a period if it's not happening. But from your blood work, it looks like it's about 7 days out. So I said, okay, we'll just wait. And then you were like still in Bahamas at this time.
You were supposed to have it while I was in Bahamas.
Twice.
Which is why
maybe like
I
the
went
second time.
Freeze my jizz, which is not fun. But anyway, go tell the important part.
Yours isn't fun. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
jerking off in a cup.
We're 60. I started my period the day.
I knew it. Not the day, not just the day. I knew this would happen. Just, you know what this proves? Just sort of the mind-body connection that people totally underestimate. The fact that they say it's pretty common. In addition to that, I knew when I got home you were going to have it. I was home for 10 minutes.
And I said, wait a second. Hold on.
Boom. It just poured out.
Yeah.
Right? It poured.
It didn't do that, by the way.
But it's interesting. Like, I know why. Like, in my head, I'm like, part of your brain, stress, you're worried about the IVF shots, all that sort of thing. And you probably didn't like that I wasn't here.
Maybe.
Right? Because I had to go to Bahamas and all that stuff. And
I was stressed about it for sure.
Yeah.
Like, really, really stressed.
Because then you had it right away. Like, obviously, it's a different story, but we talked about it last night. My mom, for example, like when my brother went to go visit her in the hospital every single day and she couldn't move, she couldn't talk, whatever. And the first time he goes away for 2 days, that's when she passes. That's more than just like physical, right? It's the mind being like, all right, I can go. I was fighting to hang on and now I'm not. Who knows? Like, I believe like there's so much we don't know. Like what percentage of our brain do we actually
Not
use?
a lot.
Like what is it? 1 to 5%?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Who the hell
we don't
knows
know
what goes on with all the rest of it, right? So,
but we know stress can cause lots of things.
Yeah. So you're on it right now.
Yeah, day 2.
Yeah.
Right?
That's always a fun day.
It's the worst day. It's actually the
but
worst day.
You know what? We're troopers.
I rallied.
We said, listen, we're going to get your ass from downstairs over here. We're going to do a podcast, do a Christmas podcast.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Took pain meds and said, hey, let's go. Let's try to get this done. I almost said, let's not do this.
Yeah.
This morning. I was in such bad pain. I am in pain right now, but I'm going to hide it.
You're just going to pretend.
Yeah. What am I going to do? But yeah, I was supposed to have surgery when you were gone.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Like the whole thing, the whole egg retrieval, everything. And everything just kept getting delayed. And I was like, and that stressed me more.
Yeah.
The more I thought about it, I'm like, oh God, what's wrong? It's not happening. And then every day somebody would ask me. And like, I'm cramping so bad during this time. I feel like my ovaries are going to burst already. They feel huge right now. And they're going to get so big this week. Wait till you see. Because you're going to go to the appointments with me, right?
I have, yeah.
And look at the eggs grow.
Oh yeah.
You have to.
I will. I'll do what I'm told.
On the days I don't feel well and you're going to drive me.
Yeah, of course. I'm in. What else do I got to do now?
Exactly.
I came home from Bahamas.
Yeah, but let's be honest. You hate doctor's appointments like that.
Not a big fan.
Okay.
My least favorite is the ones that they just talk. Like I have a guy who, checks my blood work and all that.
Yeah.
And they want you to come in the office. I'm like, how about just call me? And when he calls me, I do that thing I do when I'm like done. I'm like, all right, man. It sounds like everything's good. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And he wants to keep going or whatever.
Yeah.
And you give him that like shush, you shushing him away. So
I hate when you do that.
So my calls are like 3. He's like, hey, listen. And every time he calls me and says, your blood work is perfect. It's pristine. It's blah, blah, blah. All right. Good to hear. All right. Blah, blah, blah. It is. I'm just saying. So, I'm not like one call we did
I'm so perfect.
It was long. Just a lot of information. It's like, here's the thing. I can sit at a poker table for 14 hours, no problem. But the idea of listening to like going shopping with like someone who's buying a purse, like
me?
that was someone. Yeah, you. Like that's a thing for men. Like they don't.
You had fun last time we did that.
I do. I have fun with you shopping because we're silly.
Yeah.
We went into that fucking Balenciaga store.
Balenciaga. Huh?
That store was fucking ridiculous, by the way.
It was so fun to go in.
The store was so stupid, and the guy trying to sell me shit.
He's been texting me.
Oh my god.
I don't write back.
He tried to sell me these things because everything at Balenciaga is
Stop
like
saying it that way.
Well, I'm going to say it how I say it. Everything in Balenciaga is stupid big. So he's like, "Oh, I have just the jacket for
Oversized.
you." So I have just the jacket for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. My shoulders are here. The thing was out to here. I look like a box, like a monster. And this guy, I don't know if he was trolling, but he actually thought, he's like, I would like this. Like I was wearing, what was I wearing? My red blazer that was fitted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? Who buys this shit?
You don't wear loose clothes anyway.
No.
But these are oversized on purpose. That's what they do. Balenciaga, that's what they do.
An awful look.
I know you were looking everywhere for something. You're like, oh, I'm going to get something.
Because I wanted that as a joke. Yes. So I got some shoes that are basically Chucks that are 10 times more expensive.
They're Converse.
And they're dirty.
Dirty Converse that say Balenciaga on the
toe.
So
stupid. I just did that for you.
I know.
So you could feel
But you actually like them.
They're okay. Honestly, they're like not even in my top 10.
I like
shoes. They're fine. But I mean, I bought shoes for $80 that are better than those ones.
What, $80?
All the Creative Recs that I buy.
Oh, yeah.
I love those ones.
Obsessed over those.
They're so fun. They're so good.
Okay, back to the doctor thing. So when we go, what you'll have to do is just watch me get an inner ultrasound. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What?
It's the ultrasound that goes inside.
Uh-huh. So you get to watch that.
See how good I did there? Oh,
is that kind
inner
of
ultrasound?
Is that kind of
the one that goes in inner? Yeah.
Is that cringy?
What?
The ultrasound going in?
What's cringy? What does it do? It goes in your vag?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I have to do?
You sit there and look at the screen and watch.
Okay, and then what do I do? I'm like, am I judging it? I'm like, all right, well.
No, you're just
could have a better shape over there. Oh, so this seems a little, this isn't symmetrical. No. Like, I'm just
you're
watching.
There for support, asshole.
Okay, but what am I watching? What am I like hoping to see?
Nothing. You just see the eggs grow every time.
Oh, every time we go, you see the egg. Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You see how many we have in there?
Yeah. Think we can still afford it? I lost almost $1 million.
Probably not. I think we should probably just fucking nix this whole thing. I already thought about it.
Almost $1 million. Not $1 million.
I think that we should probably give this up.
With the baby thing?
Yeah.
How much are babies?
Christian.
Nah. How much are baby? We can afford it.
A lot. Maybe just one because we're going to be broken.
We'll buy Spam and Happy Meals
Yay.
No, I'm kidding. No, anyway, my trip.
Yeah.
We did the vlogs. Did you watch the vlogs?
I watched almost all of them. The drunk vlog got me a little like annoyed and I just quit.
You
on
hate
it.
the drunk vlog.
I can't.
Everyone loves the drunk vlog.
Except me.
You hate it.
Because it's so annoying.
Like my voice?
Ugh.
You just hate anybody drunk now because you can't drink no more.
Shut up. No, it's because you get so obnoxious that I go, oh, like I don't get embarrassed too easily, but you can embarrass me during the drunk vlog.
By me in the drunk vlog?
Yeah, while I'm alone.
And they're always fucking long.
I'm sitting alone embarrassed.
Yeah, normally my vlogs are 20, 25 minutes. And the drunk ones, I'm always like, this one's going to be like an hour.
Yeah, you talk about it a lot.
So many really important things to say when you're drunk.
Repetition.
No, it was fun. That part, I needed that one though, because I was, so we're talking mental health stuff. I was stressed.
He needed to drink for his mental health.
I hadn't had a drink in all of November. Obviously I was working out. Half of this, like in October. I mean, I don't drink very often. I drink once every 6 weeks or whatever.
You asked. I don't care.
Huh?
You asked about what I thought about it.
We had nice wine. Everybody drank, by the way. We ordered 25 bottles. Everybody was drinking.
No wonder you're broke.
And I did good. That's the one tournament that I got drunk and I came in fourth and almost won a bracelet, but that would have been too late. But listen, so we lost 940 something thousand, but like half of that was one tournament, 500K buy-in.
I hate
the buy-ins were just huge. 500, 100. I didn't do any good in those, but I had.
Do you feel good about those? Do you like want to play those? Really?
Yeah.
The 500s?
Yeah. I just wish the structures were better. We're not going to talk about poker, but generally speaking, I like the ones that are prestigious and for like big money. But it's like,
and like the
we
deep
had a shitty
structures,
year. Because the thing is, this year I had a pretty good year, like in terms of I won 4 tournaments, but money-wise, we lost. Because of the big ones. We didn't do shit in the big ones.
Well, isn't that why they say you can't really make a living in tournament poker?
Well, when I grew up, I did both. Played cash and tournaments. Now we don't give a shit anymore. But it is hard. It's hard for people who play just tournaments because especially at the higher levels now, everyone's good. Mm-hmm. So luck plays the most important role. People have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of people, this is what people get fooled into doing. Like when you watch sports, you watch, Michael Jordan scoring 40 points a night. That's not luck. That's skill, right? Tiger Woods winning golf tournaments. Did you see Charlie's hole-in-one, by the way?
No. I love him.
He had a hole-in-one first ever.
I think he's the cutest thing.
Yeah, and they came second in the tournament. They lost in the playoff. Him and Tiger both. But anyway, point is, when they win and they do well, there's no luck really. None. In poker, people see a guy win, and like, oh my God, he must be the best. The odds of that person actually being the best is so unlikely.
Yeah.
Right? Because generally speaking, what happens at that level is when you have ace queen and your opponent has ace king and you win like a big pot, you win the tournament a lot. Like, when you're running hot.
You go on those sun runs, they say.
Sun runs, yeah. But the thing is people get confused. Like who the best player is, it's impossible to ever know, right? Yeah. Because there's so much more to it, especially at that level, and it's a short sample. But anyway, we didn't come here to talk about
We asked Meta who the best poker player in the world was just to see if they would say you.
Kenny.
Yeah, I was annoyed by that.
Why? He's good.
So?
He's a money leader.
I just didn't want Meta to say that.
Yeah, Meta should know better.
Come on.
Like Meta didn't do his research and but this is the thing. Who's the best at it? It's one of the few games or whatever where I guess people do argue like who's the best, Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Everybody argues who's the best.
Right?
That's a thing.
But usually there's, quantifiable ways to use it. In poker, the results are not indicative at all.
No.
Like I've seen guys. There's one guy in particular this year. Last year, everyone said he's the best. Okay. And I think he is one of the best.
Okay.
And this year he hadn't done shit. It wasn't me.
Well, that just happens.
It wasn't me. But I saw you on the counter. It wasn't me. No, but it does. Mm-hmm. But the public perception, whatever. Not that I'm supposed to care about all that. But when we do the vlog, you sort of have to explain like, what the fuck? Oh, you lost 900. But here's why. You know what I mean?
Because most people don't get it.
Yeah.
But while we're still talking talking poker, you didn't tell everybody that like how good I am at your strategy.
Oh. God. Because she was watching me on the stream and she knew I was going to check back the flush.
And quarter bet on the end.
And then bet quarter pot on the river.
Yeah. And it was just so great because I was sitting with house guest, Andy.
House guest.
I like saying that because people call him that. And we were watching you. And I told him what you were going to do and he couldn't believe that I knew. And I was like, what? How can you not believe that I know?
You should play. That's what he said.
I know.
I said that in the when we did the other interviews. Like we got the Foxens, and she's really good.
She can help me. Get better.
Yeah. But so since we don't have any money now, we can't buy Christmas gifts.
So about that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Christmas gift thing?
Sure.
A lot of people judge us.
Well, let me judge. I got home, yesterday or whatever, day before.
Yeah.
And there was about 6 or 8 boxes in the thing. And then I woke up yesterday and there's another 20.
Okay.
There's lots of, and also speaking of boxes.
2 of those are Christians.
Oh, you should be proud of me, by the way.
What?
I couldn't find the scissors when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't text you. Didn't text Patty.
Bet you found them.
I looked around. I saw them in the dishwasher. Put them away where they go.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad at all.
They were dirty.
Okay. Yeah. So the other thing too I noticed is we bought you a chair for your closet, right? A makeup chair.
Yeah.
We bought the box.
Uh-huh.
When I left, that box was in the bedroom. Now, that box, when I go to pee in the middle of the night, it's like right in the middle of the room. So like I could easily like.
Well, I knew you were going to complain about this, so I left it on purpose.
I know. I know I was going to eat it. So then I came home and I'm like, my lovely box is still here. Yeah.
Hey, I haven't fucking felt well.
I know.
So I wasn't going to sit in the floor and put something together. I didn't feel like doing it. Honestly.
So what's in all these boxes?
So all the boxes.
You didn't buy me anything.
No, I bought you a scale. We gave it to you already.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the cool things you have to show. I bought Christian's family a gift.
Uh-oh.
It's already wrapped.
Yeah.
Did you see my wrapping? I'm really bad at it normally. I did.
Your mom, she's a wrap connoisseur.
She's artsy. So all those gifts under the tree, what are there, like fucking 50 gifts under the tree? Those are, every single one of those are from my mom to us.
Seriously. So, and she's good though. Like I don't like getting gifts.
Well, that's the point. That's what I was getting to, is that we don't need to buy each other gifts because we have 1,000 from her. She can't stand the thought of us having an empty Christmas tree. She can't stand it. Yeah. So she sends us all the goofy and fun things, and she's really good at it. Like you said.
I bought myself, I didn't even think about it, but I was on chess.com. I'm actually getting better again, by the way. Okay. Back to like 1250. So I saw they had this thing called Chess Up, which is a board, which is like it is exactly what a Christmas gift is. So now I can play over the board online and like moves because I'm really bad over the board and stuff like that. So it's like I bought my own little. That's the thing is with gifts. When you have means, right? Yeah. And you don't have to balance a budget really, you just buy the shit you want. So when other people buy you things, you have to go through that whole, hey man, I really needed these. That counts. Yeah, I needed these Crocs.
No,
Croc ballerina flats.
You're stupid. Most people who get us things, I like it when people get simple things. Christian's really good at that. Brian's really good at that. He just gets us a candle every single year. It's the same one, and I use it for a whole year. It's like a huge candle from like Pottery Barn or something, right? It's amazing. Yeah. So there are gifts that we can use that I like. And my mom does a good job for you. She's always going to get you gifts. You just have to get over it.
But I like her gifts. She gives stuff that I'll use. Syrups and this, some cinnamon dolce, some socks, some this, some that. There's always stuff. I got the little basketball thing that I play with and whatnot.
She got you a toilet game once where you sit on the toilet and play with it.
The little basketball thing. I play with that, but I have it in the office somewhere right over here. Yeah. The other thing, you bought gifts for, because last year when we moved in here, I met my neighbors and I'm like, they seem really cool and nice. So we were here, we were doing our Christmas stuff. So we should put something together for them.
That's what all these boxes are.
So last year, we gave them a bottle of wine, you stuffed it with some socks, some cookies, some different things.
I'm doing a crate like that for everyone this year.
What are we putting in it?
Well, I'll talk about that later. I don't want to tell everybody. Oh, well, no, I didn't get Christian that anyway.
Do you think our neighbors are watching this?
I don't know, but what about like Patty? Everybody's getting the same one.
Oh, then don't say.
But it's a crate full of stuff and it's like nice stuff and I put it together. But like,
Patty used to buy me gifts.
Oh, God.
You know the story?
Yeah, she won't ever buy you shit again.
You told me. I didn't remember why, but you told me. So,
because you were awful.
I used to have a Mushu for 17 years. My little Chihuahua. I love the guy, right? Mm-hmm. And Patty didn't do anything wrong. She got
you a gift.
She bought me a very thoughtful gift. Okay,
cramps.
Which was like an oil painting of Mushu, right?
Yes,
it's a very thoughtful gift. But the picture they chose made me sad because he looked like he was about to get hit. He looked like sad and beaten. Yeah. And it made me feel sad seeing it. So
But your reaction was a little overboard, right?
What did I do? I don't remember. She'll have to come on and tell us. I didn't say it like that. I probably said like, I didn't say it. Did I?
Joel said it was pretty reactive.
In front of her?
I think so.
Well, listen, I appreciate the thought, right? But she learned her lesson since then. It's like, don't try with the... But no, you know what I'm saying? It was like
I thought it looked like, I've seen it. I thought it looked like he was growling, being funny.
I saw sad.
Okay. Well, you knew him, so I don't. Yeah.
Sad.
He was mean.
He was not smart.
Let's just get real.
Yeah.
He would bite the shit out of you. One time I almost sat him.
Chihuahuas, man. Chihuahuas are fucking sick.
I almost sat him on the couch once. He used to get under the blankets back in the day. And you're like, always, don't sit on him. Don't sit on him to everybody who would come over.
Yeah, because he likes the burrow.
Yeah. And he would just growl.
Oh, when he goes under the covers, he would fucking rip you. And his bites were something. Like,
he made you bleed.
He bit with purpose. Like later in his life, when he got older, he had to give him meds, right? So he had to put like that neck fucking brace on him because you couldn't. Because he would like if you try to put it in, he'd like, like,
that's what Apollo does, but not.
But it's not like I could stick my finger in his mouth while he's biting. It's nothing.
Yeah, I don't.
He doesn't have any power behind it like Mushu. Apollo bites to say leave me alone. Yeah. Mushu bites for blood.
To kill you.
He bought for to kill you. If you have a Chihuahua and you've seen this, you know how they do.
Yeah.
Like that.
Rocky's the easiest on earth. You can give him anything.
Poor
little thing.
Yeah. They've been good with the neighbor's dogs too. This one more than that one. Rocky's much more willing to like sniff and say hello. This guy, he's skittish and he freaks out. So I always pulled him back.
So we've come to the conclusion that, look, Rocky is a lot like you.
Yeah.
Apollo is a lot like me. He doesn't trust people right away.
Yeah.
He's like, don't fuck with me right away. And he doesn't it takes a long time for him to warm up to people. Yeah. And Rocky's like you. He's like, give me all the love.
Oh, yeah. If I start petting Apollo, he jumps over. Like in the morning, I come and rub bellies, he's fine. I just start rubbing Rocky's belly. Okay, got you, Rock. Then I go over to Apollo. Nope. No. Me. He jumps right in front. You got to rub me.
He's been a big softie lately, though.
Apollo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been taking his spot. Like I lay on the couch and just got, and like there's a little, the nook.
He calls it the nook. They don't fit on me there. They don't lay there on me. And it's like in the middle of your legs. Yeah. Propped up.
And that's usually his spot.
Lately, like now.
Yeah, like this. Apollo's been taking the spot.
Not when I'm around. Sits with me.
They always sit with you. They don't see you as much.
They don't see me as much because I don't sit and watch like hockey and downstairs and stuff.
Oh, good.
I don't.
You just don't sit downstairs, period.
In the daytime.
You think if you came down that I would watch hockey?
Yes.
No. If you came down, you wanted to watch a show, want to watch anything, I'd 100% do that.
But let's be honest. I hate that fucking sun in my eyes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay. And every time
it gets dark at 4.
And sometimes I go, hey.
You wake up at 2. It gets dark at 4. Go have your sandwich. Come down for fuck's sake.
I go, you want to watch this show? And you go, I don't watch those shows during the day.
Well,
we used to say that. And I'd be like, fuck, okay, fine. You'd say, no, we do that at night. We don't watch shows during the day. So like
some shows, yeah.
So I go,
like,
okay.
I will say you haven't watched one, but I think you'll like it. If you haven't watched this, I recommend. I'm 6 episodes in, called Dark Matter. Mm. It's a fun show. It's a sci-fi show. I didn't know anything about it, and you looked it up, of course.
I did. You told me about it, and I had to look.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have looked up, but it's cool. It's a cool.
I didn't watch anything on it. I just read what it was. And it said something about supernatural, or
it's not really though. It's kind of like. So imagine sci-fi wise, imagine you could like every choice you've made in your life led you to where you are now, right?
I love that.
But if you made a different choice at any point in your life, the idea is that there's this like quantum world where that world exists somewhere. Imagine if you could tap into it and sort of peep in and see what your life was different. Like say for you.
It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Let's say you and me got married that night.
In 2009 or 10?
Yeah. Imagine what our lives would be. Bad.
We'd hate each other right now.
For sure. Maybe we would have got back together. No.
You think?
No.
That's actually really interesting to think about. Like, would you hate me so much?
Depends. Back then, probably.
Really?
Yeah. And you would have hated me because I'd be like way more judgy.
No, actually, no. Disagree.
Yeah, but that was because we were in the love. We were always in the honeymoon stage. Listen, if you lived with me, because you didn't live with me back then, a month in, you'd start to hear, the scissors.
Yeah, but as you got older.
You know what you do? When I tell you to move the scissors, you would stab me in the throat with them. That's what you would have done back then.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, you would have just cut me.
Yeah.
The scissors.
I control my emotions much easier now.
Yeah.
So, medication.
This was before you even get on meds.
I know.
You would have been a train wreck.
Listen, but I've decided that you, as you've aged, you've gotten worse with judgment.
It's actually not true.
Okay, to other people. For other people, you're okay.
No, but it's just because we've known each other long.
It's me.
It's because, we had honeymoon phase. Back then, it was all honeymoon.
Yeah.
Right? There was no living together.
That shit's gone, guys.
I'm better now than I ever was. I try my best here.
That's your best?
Yeah. Man, if you only knew.
Listen, I try my best as well.
I know. So
because I could be super judgmental of you, but I don't. Because guess what? I don't try to change you. Not ever.
Yeah.
I don't.
You do get annoyed by things, though.
Sure, everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't try to change the core of who you are.
Like since I've been home, I've been tired.
Oh, I made a joke and dig about that.
It was fine. Which earlier?
Yeah.
You said, well, we talked for 3 minutes.
No, I said I'll talk to you for the first time on the podcast since you've been home.
Yeah. But there's two things. You get this. When I come home from a trip, I'm fucking spent. I worked my ass off for 2 weeks. It takes me usually 3 to 5, especially when we come from Europe. Yeah. It takes me 3 to 5 days to feel normal again. Like I haven't been in the gym. I'm not cooking. I'm just ordering food. I'm just like, it's just starting to get out of it because like I unpacked the bag and did the dishes today. Like we're getting back to normal. But it takes me a few days. In addition to that, because I'm on East Coast time, I'm waking up like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you're early right now.
You go to bed when you go to bed.
Well, I don't have a schedule right now because of my cramps. I don't even know.
I'm going to bed at like 11. So yeah, there's not much of a window.
Well, I also asked you when you're coming home, I said, do you feel like hanging or do you need some time to just do your thing? Yeah. And you said, let me just be and I'll see. Yeah. Or something. And I was like, okay.
We usually do that. And you're good about that.
Yeah. I don't nag you about time.
No, you don't.
Ever.
Not at all. No. The only thing is like at night before bed. And I'm like, I fell asleep on the couch. And I came up and you were like, you were annoyed that we weren't going to talk about the podcast.
Yeah, because it's today.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to talk about the podcast or like, do you just want to plan anything or just chat?
No, but I thought we did pretty good anyways with your stuff because you had ideas. Like one thing,
I just see what's topical and brought it up.
Yeah, that one, we'll get to that. You want to get into that now?
Sure. You want to?
Okay, yeah. What'd you find for us, babe?
I know what I know. And I'll ask you what you think about it. You know a little bit. Yeah. So have you heard of the movie This Ends With Us? Mm-mm. Okay, I'll tell you what that is first. Christian, have you heard of that movie? Okay, it's pretty sad, isn't it?
This ends with us.
Okay, it ends with us. That's it, right? Blake Lively is the main character. I read this book a year ago, by the way, by Colleen Hoover. It is about a girl who ends up with an abuser. Okay, she ends up with a neurosurgeon who's like very charming and perfect and in the beginning, you know, all the things you want. And then he ends up little at a time, like abusing her. The book was way worse. The movie was very tame compared to what the book was. Mm-hmm. So Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni was the main character of the abuser. And he was also the director of the movie. And I think a producer credit as well. Anyway, apparently on set, they weren't getting along.
Okay.
Right from the start. And she was said, I guess how it all started, this came out right when the movie was coming out, the premiere. People noticed that they weren't walking the red carpet together. They weren't doing any press together at all before the movie. She was doing her own, he was doing his own, and they were very different. He was focused on domestic violence about the movie, and she was focused on like her new hair care line and like shit that like
you mean he was focused on saying, you know, it's about domestic violence
and like talking about how shitty that is. And
right. So raising awareness.
Yes.
Raising awareness.
Yes. He was raising awareness and she was raising awareness about like her hair care line and florals. And she was a florist in the movie. Okay. So they weren't getting along. Apparently some things came out about him going behind her back first. This was the first thing. This is months ago. I heard this. He went behind her back on set and asked her on-set trainer how much she weighs. Okay. At first, you think of that and you go, "Ooh, that's weird," right? Blake Lively is 5'9". She's like a bigger girl compared to, you know, she's not small. She's like a tall, and she just had a baby like 9 months prior. And you really can't tell in the movie her size. She wears like big overalls and shit in the movie. You can't really tell. So he went to her on-set trainer and asked her weight because he said apparently he's like her size, but he's cut. But he had hurt his back. And they had some scene, like a run and jump scene, where she had to jump on him or he had to lift her or whatever it was. And he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to like injure himself. But that feels, a lot of people said that felt gross, I guess. And anyway, her trainer ended up telling her that he asked. Yeah. And that just...
I'll tell you what, a couple things. First of all, in one sense, I said like, okay, it's nice that he didn't just ask her and be...
He said it was on purpose.
Like,
he didn't ask her.
Going behind just to find out. But at the same time, some of this story don't add up. Okay, some of that shit don't make no sense, right?
Why?
First of all, you can see her, right? Like, I know you hurt your back, but like, you can tell she's roughly this. Okay, so let's say you don't know, right?
Look at her clothes she wore for the movie. They're huge.
You could literally say to the producers, like, I have a back injury.
Anyway, well, he's the director of the movie. He is the movie.
So he can, okay, so if he's worried about his back injury, he can change the scene.
And he's the main character and the director.
Okay. So, yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is like, you look at the woman, you're like, okay, what is she? How much does she weigh? 150?
Maybe, I don't know. She just had a baby. Maybe she had it. Maybe it was a little more.
Like, does this guy know his back can take 150, but not 157?
Probably, because if you saw his body, you'd be like, he lifts weights.
Yeah, but nobody does that. Like, it's not like you know your limit. Like, oh, how often are random women jumping into your arms and you go, okay, I'm good at 145, but 152?
No, what if it was a difference between 140 and 200?
If it's the difference between 140 and 200, you're blind as a bat. If you can't look at a woman who's 5'9",
she's almost 5'9", 5'10", yeah.
You can't tell that she's 200 or 140?
Listen, in the movie, she wore these big overalls, big clothes. I couldn't really tell how big she was. Could you, Christian? I mean, I don't know. She's not like a big girl. She's beautiful. Blake Lively, you know who she is. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
They're like my favorite. They used to be my favorite couple in Hollywood. I just don't know what I think right now because of all this.
If he's the director, he just needs to, if he's worried about it.
But don't ask her.
Change the scene.
It does. Okay. Now we get to that. So the second thing that came out that she told people was that first, and she said it was fat shaming. Okay.
But he didn't even say anything to her.
But it was around. That
he literally privately went to the trainer and asked how much she weighs.
And then she told people.
Like, that's a sin now?
It's a fat shaming thing.
That's the sin. My God.
Okay.
Fat shaming is a good thing, by the way.
Oh God. Here we go.
It's body positivity is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So there was that. And then there was the thing that she was angry about that. And then she said he was holding kisses too long.
He's an abusive.
He's the abuser in the movie.
He's supposed to be a dickhead.
Yes.
So he's supposed to be aggro and...
Yes.
So she said he was holding the kisses too long?
Yeah, and it felt uncomfortable. Like it was too long. And like, but if you know the book at all, or if you know the movie, you see like how he holds her down and he's aggressive. And that feels like he would do that.
Now that's some horse shit too, because you're an actress, right? You know, you do sex scenes, you do all these kind of things. That's part of the deal. You're getting paid, okay? You're getting paid to kiss the guy. Oh, no, only for 5 seconds. If he goes 7... That's out of line. It's just dumb. It's like, what now she has this imaginary barrier of how many kisses. How long do I have to kiss for? 5 seconds or 7? Like his idea with the weight thing.
Okay, so that was happening. And the thing is this whole fight got started because a lot of people love him as well. Apparently he's been in tons of movies and he's never had one word said about him that's bad. Like, people love working with him. So he has credibility. He's got like a track record of being a good. And Blake has had a track record of being difficult a couple times and in interviews and things too, where she wasn't the nicest. It came off as mean girl type stuff. Right. So a lot of people first on the internet was like, oh yeah, right. We love Justin, that sort of thing. And then the narrative would go back and forth. No, we love Blake because Ryan Reynolds and Blake, power couple, whatever. Right. So I guess that's how it all started. And then it came out yesterday. The New York Times wrote this huge thing in this video. And I was like, holy shit, he did some bad things. He did. After people started to blame him when the fat shaming thing and like maybe he was being inappropriate on set with her. He whispered something to her at some point, but no one knows what that is.
What did she say it is?
Something inappropriate. That's all I know.
He's playing a role. He's in a bad role. Do they understand what role? Like look at Jim Carrey. He did like a whole year. You guys, what's his name? Fuck, I don't know, the Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, he does that.
He was in character. I don't know. It's like, and again, I don't know what inappropriate.
I don't know what that means.
It's kind of important to know, like when someone says something's inappropriate, that's their opinion. Doesn't mean it's true, right? It's like it might have been, but we don't know what it was. So how do we even know? Like,
and then her other complaints were, which he's not. I thought this guy was old, but he's not. The main producer on set, who's friends with Justin Baldoni, ended up showing him and Blake a picture naked of his wife.
What does that got to do with him?
She said that was harassment.
But so by the director? By this guy? What's his name? The director's guy?
The director is Justin Baldoni.
And so what did Baldoni do?
He was just there. She was just saying on set, it was not great.
So some other guy showed her a picture.
The producer.
A guy, who was the guy? A cameraman or something?
The producer.
He was a producer.
Yeah.
So he showed it. Like, did she show it? And she's like, did he say like, hey, do you want to see a picture of my wife?
Probably not. He probably just showed it.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird. People do weird shit. Like I wouldn't say harassment to me because I don't care about things like that. But some people are sensitive in that way, right? And apparently she said that he was that same producer. She was getting like makeup taken off her chest and he was watching her. Like,
it sounds like, okay, how do I say this? It sounds like she finds a lot of these situations. And like then when there's so many, like you said,
you start seeing things more when you're upset.
You've been difficult to work with so many times. Is it because you're searching this stuff out? We sort of talked about this before when you were with the poker woman. Yeah. Just everything, sexism, like nonstop, you start to wonder like if it becomes a pattern and nobody else is experiencing that pattern. This guy didn't ever have this problem with anybody else, right?
Yeah.
If the pattern shows that this guy, I keep forgetting his name.
Justin Baldoni.
If this Baldoni guy had a history where other women come forward and go, yeah, he's like that with me.
Not yet.
But nothing. But she does, right?
Well, she just has like the mean girl thing with certain, where, like, in certain ways.
This is kind of like, you remember during the Me Too movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was the idea of just like believe women. And I'm like, I'll listen to women, sure. But like men lie, women lie.
Right.
Like we should hear them, but just automatically believe them. Like, no, so the guy has no say whatsoever. Like this sounds like a case of that, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you the rest. But I think all of these things can be true, both of them, right? Okay. Maybe he was doing things and she was doing things. So New York Times came out with an article. And we know, here's what sucks though. We know media, we know how they can spin things. And we know how like if they like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, we know that they're going to push hard for them, right? Just that's how it works. But he did do some fucked up things. So when he saw the narrative start to change, where he was like, they were like, oh, poor Blake, all this is happening to her. Maybe he's a creep. He hired.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Social media and shit. I don't know how that happened. But they're much more well known. He hired a PR agency. Right. That
sounds like a financial decision.
Okay, but step back for 1 second.
Okay.
She went to Sony and whoever else was they did the movie, right? And sat down with them, and she brought Ryan Reynolds with her, who has nothing to do with the movie, but she brought him in too. And they said, no changing the script anymore, no adding sex scenes, no adding any intimate scenes like kissing, anything like that. Even though Justin's a director, you know how you add and cut, you do that. Yeah. You change script, you do that all the time in movies. You have to, right? To make it right. We're going to do the script as it was presented. And that's what she feels comfortable with. So no more adding kisses, no more doing any of that. So they said, fine, whatever makes her feel comfortable. They signed off on that. And the one other thing is, and after that, you cannot retaliate against her. That's what they signed.
What do you mean retaliate against her? Like, what does that
even mean?
For
being difficult.
So you basically can't say
she was difficult.
She sucked.
Right.
So he signed the contract that says that.
And Sony did too.
Okay.
So Sony ended up going with, and I think this bothered him a lot probably. She let Ryan help cut some scenes, I guess, like maybe the intimate ones too, because I had noticed a lot was missing from that movie.
Okay.
The book. And Sony took their cut and not his.
Okay.
And he was like the director of the movie.
So what's the shit? Well, what has he done that's shitty?
Okay, so he hired a PR company, and the text came out. She got the text subpoenaed from him and like the PR lady, and they were like, "We can bury anyone."
She got the text subpoena?
Yeah, for a court order.
Why? Because she sued him for something?
Yeah, civil suit right now.
So for what was the suit over?
Because sexual harassment, like volatile on
sexual set. Harassment?
Harassment.
What? See, that you just throw that word around like it's like, well, what though?
Not sexual, like was not sexual violence or anything like that, or nothing like that, but harassment. It was, yes.
But what is the evidence? Like, what is she claiming happened?
That's all I'm telling you. Is all
nothing
I know is
like
that
you said is sexual
the
harassment.
kisses, like
because she's an actress being paid to kiss a man on screen, and it went for 7 seconds rather than 5. Sexual harassment.
And he was adding in a couple more sex scenes that she didn't agree to, I guess.
But she has every right to say no to.
I guess. I don't know how that works
exactly. You know, I don't know how it works too in Hollywood or whatever. But like, the idea that so here's the thing, right? We live in a world where someone smears you.
It became a big smear campaign.
Yeah.
And everyone fucking hated her. The sales of her hair
first
care
sounds
line.
To me, like you said first, they were hating on him.
Yeah.
Right?
Switch back and forth.
So he's like, hold the phone.
Yes.
So he's like, he's coming back with his own PR campaign.
He's like, we're not ruining my image over this.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds a lot like politics in a way.
Yes.
Where, you're always looking to smear the other person and win the narrative. And it comes down to like business decisions.
It was. And but the texts were like damning, right? Because the lady's like, we can bury anyone, you know that in Hollywood.
Who said that though?
The PR woman.
For him?
She worked for Johnny Depp.
His PR woman.
Yeah.
So what's that? That's nothing. That's literally them saying, we're a PR company and we kick ass. We know what we're doing. We can bury anybody. Well, that's literally just saying we're good.
That she worked for Johnny Depp was a big thing because they buried Amber Heard.
They did. She buried herself too. But
yeah.
Because she lied.
But you know what I mean? Like when you see that, you're like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, but I don't think anything of it. So, okay, because like, I'm glad that I didn't know much about this because when I hear it, I didn't hear anything you said that he did bad things. Right. I mean, I heard that he kissed her for too long. Mm-hmm. He may have said something inappropriate in her ear. Yeah. Don't know what that is. And he hired a PR company.
And he added in some sex scenes maybe. And
he's a director.
He's a director.
There's no way that's a shitty thing, okay? I'm the director. Agree. This is my movie. Like, look at fucking Quentin Tarantino, okay? Quentin Tarantino made a movie with Selma Hayek, okay? And sometimes he plays roles in his own movie, okay? He's also got a foot fetish. So he literally had Selma Hayek stick her foot in his mouth and drink champagne out of it.
Sexy.
Yeah, he's just like this. He's like, I'm loving this. I'm the director. Like that. Give me foot. It's like, he's the director. I mean, that's way more sexually harassing than fucking what this guy seems to have did by adding scenes.
Yeah, and maybe we don't know it all. Maybe more will come out, right?
Yeah.
But that's so what we know.
Early onset of like the story. Kind of like, you were very into the Johnny Depp trial and the Amber Heard, and then you got me into it, and I was like super interesting because there's so many different.
But I also saw some things in her that were off.
Yeah. What I mean is though, like, it's often the public just makes a decision quickly without actually seeing all the facts. And we all do this. It's just natural.
That's why I was getting your like first opinion there just to see. Right. Because I don't even know where I am.
So I don't know the facts with the guy. But from what I'm hearing so far, there's nothing on him. Like, he hired a PR company to protect his reputation.
But he signed that he wouldn't retaliate against her. And, and the text he sent to them was like, he told the woman, this isn't enough. We're not doing enough to bury her. We're not. Okay,
but like, so the burying part, right? Is that on him or is that on the PR? What does he have to actually actively do things to bury her? Or do that's something they just handle?
No, they do it and they handle it. He just changed the narrative. They had a Daily Mail article come out about her. They push articles, negative articles.
Just to show you how shady. And people wonder,
shady.
People wonder why like legacy media and mainstream media has lost so much trust.
Totally.
It's because it's so much bullshit. Like,
none of it's real.
You literally pay for a narrative. You like we talk about, but David Huberman, right? So the guy, the scientist, he's like the big. So apparently, like New York or whatever, they wrote this hit piece on him where he's basically banging like 5-6 different women.
Yeah, that one was
What
weird.
They didn't even realize is like, dude, the fact that he can handle 5-6 women is like an endorsement for whatever he's taking.
He wasn't married or anything.
Yeah. Right. But the point is like, we don't know, but they made him out to be the most villainous, awful. But it's like, dude, that's his personal life. He's a player. You don't know the stories of all of them. But what he did? He just ignored the whole fucking thing.
He did.
But the point is, it was like clearly a hit piece they published just to discredit him. So you wonder, like, obviously with celebrities, when it comes to like politics, all this sort of shit, like all these narratives get spun. And it's like a concerted effort, and it's easier to do now than ever. If you have a bot farm, right? You hire a bot company. You say, I want this to trend. I want people to start believing this. I need this out on this person. And then you get enough accounts to do it, and it becomes a real thing. Like, totally unrelated, but like, I used to deal with way back before social media was even a thing, poker forums. Right?
Oh, right, yeah.
And you'd read these stupid things, and then people would start saying a whole bunch of shit about you. Right? I'm reading all this shit. I'm like, this isn't even true. Right? There was even stuff about us.
It's never true.
There was like a lot, like some of it, like, okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. Yeah. But some of it they're writing is fact, right? So I'm like looking at the cesspool, but then a bunch of people start saying it, right? So now everybody believes it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you're left with two options. Ignore it. Yep. Say screw it. But then people go, it's true because you didn't say anything. Or you just go in there and you get into the cesspool and you're back and forth. And I remember going back and forth like all these messages. And no matter what I said, no matter what evidence or proof that I would put forward, it didn't matter because it just kept going.
Yeah.
It would only stop if I stopped. But when I stopped, the narrative is the narrative. So like, sounds like the thing is now your image, your brand.
So it looks like you're going back and forth.
Especially if you're an influencer, right? Has so much like, it's so important to cultivate it and protect it.
Yeah.
So him paying a PR person after getting smeared by her and having a stellar record before that but maybe we'll see. Maybe there'll be a case.
Well, she got smeared the most for sure after that. Yeah. With her, her hair care line that she just came out 78% down, like all these things just happened. Like all her companies, she has an alcohol line down.
It can happen quick.
It happened quick. Yeah. And he did say one thing that I thought was like kind of in favor of him in one of the texts where he said, it looks like you guys aren't hiring bots, are you? I don't want that. Like he didn't want like a bunch of bots coming after her. And they're like, I guarantee you that's not what we do. We don't hire bots. Yeah. They just changed the narrative in articles, I guess. Yeah. That's how that works. It's so fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it, the New York Times, but like, it reminds me of in one specific paragraph, it was like an anti-RFK thing. And it basically was saying like he lied about saying that Fruit Loops are different in Canada than they are in the US, right? Then in the same paragraph.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
In the same paragraph, it says that in Canada, they use blueberries and carrots.
Yeah.
And in the US, they use BHT, polylamine, food
Red
color,
40.
and all this stuff. I'm like, so I'm scratching my head reading this paragraph and I'm saying, you just said he lied.
Yeah.
And then you just provided proof that he told the truth. It's like, how did this shit get published, right? It doesn't matter when you want to smear somebody, which is why we don't have what we used to have when it comes to news and all that stuff. Ever since the advent of cable news, which CNN was the first of, right? When it became driven by profit, it's no longer a case of like, Walter Cronkite used to be like, and here's the news. Everybody watched the same news.
Yeah.
You trusted this guy because he had no ulterior motives. He's just trying to tell you what happened. And then, that's evolved into what it is today. So it's like, it's very difficult to figure out what the real truth is. That's why I think like the community notes on X is a game changer.
Yeah, it's good.
Because like I saw a video yesterday, right?
I love when they community check Elon.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, when he gets it wrong. But that's good that they do that. But I remember watching a video, and I won't name or say what it's about, but I watched this video and was like, that is messed up, right? Didn't have a community note on it. So I assumed it was okay, right? Saw the same video the next day. There's a community note on it saying, no, it's actually a fake or whatever like this, right? But that's really, really good to know because like think about how often on social media in the last 10 years, people just share things and reach people without even like looking into
disinformation all day, every day, everywhere. That's all we have. And then it just sucks that the, New York Times and shit like that can just lie. Everybody can just lie.
Yeah.
So no one ever really knows what the truth is. I'm not saying they're lying about this because there are texts to prove that he did some bad shit, right?
So is this going to be like one of those Johnny Depp, Amber Heard type cases where it's on TV and where you like get popcorn and watch every day?
No, because it's right now it's just a civil, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what she's wanting out of it exactly. Like maybe she just wants her reputation back. Like she wants, right? What is she? She's not wanting money from him, I don't think.
So
I can't imagine.
What is she trying to get?
Because she and Ryan Reynolds, they wouldn't want the money.
So what is it? What does this mean? She doesn't want money? Then what she want? Him to go to jail?
No, I just think she wants to prove that what he did was wrong.
But yeah, I don't make any sense.
And like in like her contracts, it says you cannot retaliate against me for coming to you wanting to feel comfortable on set as a woman.
So a court case where you just want the guy to say, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I don't know exactly what it is. It's a civil court
Isn't that for
case.
money? Civil, isn't that money?
I guess it can have money attached to it, but I don't think that's what she's after.
Right. So you could say that their motivation isn't money, but
right.
But like that's how civil,
because he doesn't have money compared to them. Jeez.
Right. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds does good.
Yeah.
He crushes it. He makes a lot of money.
I think it would feel really shitty though if like you're the director of this movie and they took her cut and she got a producer credit.
I mean, yeah, but like whatever.
It's just crazy, right? Like, people are going to go with Ryan Reynolds.
I've always said like, listen, I get it. Everyone's different, but anytime I've worked with people on a set or anything like that, I always think you're just better off being as agreeable as possible. Whatever.
Totally.
Even if small slights bother you or whatever, don't make it the end of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's something serious or significant, well, that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
But dumb little things like that, you're better off playing fake and being like nice with people.
Just get through it.
Yeah, just be like, and then you can be like, I want to jerk later. But like, I never
jerk it later.
No, not jerk it. I say be a jerk about. Anyway,
I'm like,
never mind.
Jerk it later.
Yeah, I always thought it, and I always tell people that it's like, especially if you want to work with brands and stuff like that. Like if you're difficult, your reputation follows you as being difficult.
Right.
That's why I'm never late. I always try to do a good job. Like I remember years ago, I was supposed to do a commercial shoot, and I was in Australia. I was at a final table. And it was a 3-day shoot. Like
3 days for what? For what?
Just for like a poker commercial.
Okay.
So it was a 3-day shoot, right? And I told him, I was like, listen, I'm at this final table. I will do everything I can to like, I'll show up at 7 a.m. and I'll do this in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And they scheduled 3 days because they had other people doing it and it took the full 3 days. I show up, first day, 7 a.m. I'm like, let's go. The guy that worked for the company, because he knew I was good on one. He's like, he bet somebody. He's like, how much you want to bet he's done by lunch? Right? I didn't know about this bet, right?
Yeah.
1 p.m., it's a wrap. Day one, right?
Yeah.
That's just me bragging.
I know. I'm like, wait, what are we getting at here? You got through the commercial quickly?
No, what it's about is it's about being like always going above and beyond.
Yeah.
What I'm asked to do.
Well, I guess there's a difference if you feel uncomfortable. Like if she really felt uncomfortable, I guess that's the whole point of this, right? But it's not about being agreeable. You can't be agreeable if you feel like sexually uncomfortable. So
she's made it. She's big time. She's a superstar. She's got Ryan Reynolds. She doesn't need to like worry about that sort of stuff. But like, I feel like, and now her reputation is what it is.
And they did bring an intimacy coordinator to the set, which most movies have anyway.
What does that mean?
An intimacy coordinator is when there is a person on set who makes sure you're comfortable during any intimate scenes, kissing, sex scenes, any of that stuff. And that's usually on every like big movie now.
What does this mean?
So most people clear the room when there's like a sex scene, like everyone's not standing around.
Yeah.
And an intimacy coordinator comes around and they're there with you, especially like for the woman, I guess, to make sure that there's nothing weird or like
there's
it's
a
uncomfortable.
Too, right?
I know, but cameramen don't do anything. This person's there to make sure you're comfortable. I think that's fine. Everybody has those now.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
They're not like fluffers, are they?
No, because you're not doing porn, you fucking weirdo.
I don't know.
It's to make sure that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's to make sure that like nothing weird's happening and
everything's going.
You think
that happens when people do sex scenes that they actually bang? There's stories. There
are.
Which one? Who did?
It's not I don't know the name of the person, but there is the one, what is it called on Netflix? It's called Something Love. We can look it up.
Like when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were like doing it in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I don't know if they're actually having sex. I think they're probably really fucking turned on though.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. They have to be.
I mean, yeah.
How can you not be in those situations? But it was called Something Love on Netflix. You guys look it up.
Something Love, that's it?
You'll know. It's like an R-rated sex movie on Netflix. And they're really having sex in the movie. You can look it up. The guy who did the movie, he's this weird like French guy, I think. He wanted to have real sex in the movie. So of course I had to watch that immediately. And it was wild. Because
So they had real sex. So you're watching porn, basically.
Yeah.
What was that other porn fucking movie you made us watch?
365 Days.
What the hell was that?
That was fun, right?
It was just a dumb movie, but it was just sex.
Oh, the storyline was it was ridiculous because it was a woman getting kidnapped and held to her will until she had sex with someone. That's what it was.
Yeah. And was there like backlash to that?
Like,
it's like
for Netflix to take that shit down.
Drop it. It's like glorifying
sexual
kidnapping
abuse.
And sexual abuse.
Yes.
She seemed to enjoy it. After a while.
Yeah. You had to like break her down to enjoy that. Did you take his shirt off?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. He wanted to jump off. I let him off the hook.
So right now, you're on the man's side, of course, and I don't know where I'm at.
Based on what you've told me.
I just don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
What did he do?
The only thing that you don't like that he did was ask about the weight.
I mean, but I like the fact that he actually did it behind her back in a way.
Yeah, I did
like, it's
too.
better that way. Instead of going right up to her and like, just say, so I have a back problem. I'm going to need to know how fat you are right now.
Feel that in my eye.
Yeah. That's like out of line to do that.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He handled it in such a way
I thought
that he thought was going to be respectful.
Okay.
Because he didn't know this idiot trainer was going to tell. Like, who the worst person in this whole thing is? Trainer's an asshole. Like, why are you literally starting shit? If you never said anything, she would never know.
No, and why would you want to make her feel bad too?
Yeah.
About her weight. Like if she just had a baby, she doesn't feel good.
He's just one of them shit disturbers who like, there was no valuable reason.
I think it was a she, but yeah.
Whatever it was, the person was like literally just starting shit for no reason.
Yeah, like, can you believe he wants to know your weight?
It's like when I watch Jersey Shore, Mike the Situation. He does that shit all the time.
What, stirs shit up?
Yeah,
you mean?
he just like, he shouldn't say anything. Doesn't need to say, but he's always like, so Ange said this about you yesterday, and I'm not saying, like
the producers probably make him do that.
Yeah, but he does it on his own. It's just he's that way.
There was this one. I don't know if you want to do it. Like, I don't know what you have on your list. What else did you want to talk about? So I had
one thing that came up recently because we've talked about him before.
Let's do it.
And it's Robin Lehner.
We like him.
Who Robin Lehner played in the NHL. He's not playing now. Played for the Golden Knights. We became friendly with him.
He had a hard time here, right?
Yeah. He was loved in New York. Like in the Islanders, he felt like they really loved him there. And then in Vegas, here's what happened for him, right? He came to Vegas and he's essentially replacing the hero here, Marc-Andre Fleury. Everyone loved Marc-Andre Fleury, right? And
I get that. I remember.
Everyone loved him, right?
Yeah.
So now he comes in.
But it's not his fault.
And then they get rid of Marc-Andre Fleury. So people are mad at him. So now he's dealing with all this. He's also got his own issues, right? He had issues with the coach, which he talks about in his tweets or whatever.
We can talk about his issues, right?
Yeah, we're going to get there. So long story short, right? Like he ended up having, knee, shoulder, hips, like everything fell apart. His play he was hurt, right?
Is he an older player?
He was in the prime of his career, probably 30, 31, I think, in that neighborhood. He was like, obviously the injuries, pile up, but for 5-6 years in a row, he was like among the best goalies, right?
Okay.
In terms of statistics. So now, like his career's over, right?
That's sad.
And I don't want to say where he is because
don't do that.
I'm not going to say where he is. I'm just saying, but he messaged me. And then I saw he's been on Twitter, right? Posted a picture of himself, which you can take a look. You see in the picture, like he's always been a tat guy, tat on his neck. He had Long Island on his neck, whatever. Yeah. But like now he just really went for it. Like he's got like an A, anarchy on his forehead. He's just really like,
He's struggling.
Yeah. Well, so he's obviously struggling, but here's the thing that's interesting, right? Because I don't know, like he shared on Twitter a list of his medications.
So he's bipolar, guys. We can say that. He talks about it.
Yeah. So he shared a list of his medications and you looked at them.
I did. I have them up.
Okay.
I have them.
Because there's a long list of stuff.
Yes.
There's like Seroquel and...
I'll go through them.
Yeah.
So the thing is about this is when people look at this list, like I was trying to show you.
It seems like a lot of stuff.
It looks like a lot of stuff because it is. But also, this isn't what he would be taking all at once. This looks like, do you know when you leave the hospital? You don't, but I've been to the hospital a lot. You leave the hospital and they give you this is a list of medications you've been on forever. This is everything you've ever taken since you've ever come here to this hospital. Like last year you were on this, the year before you were probably on this. It's a list of everything that he's ever taken. Like Tylenol and milk of magnesia is on this list. So they actually ask you like what you've been on. So if you see my hospital records, it'll show 3 years ago the meds I was on and what I'm on now. Okay?
Right.
So I'm trying to find this list I have. But this list, he made it sound like that this is like what they have him on all the time or something. He said something in a
tweet about like he's on 12 to 14 different psychotropics or something like that.
But that's not right. And this looks like a list of different dates to me. So because when you're on something like lamotrigine, I take that by the way, it's a mood stabilizer. It shows it on this list like 5 times. And
right,
you're
like
not on it
5
times.
100 milligrams. And that's just a change in the dosages.
Exactly. Because like I tell you, that's when you tweak your meds, they change it. And now it's on the list again. Okay. So when he says there's that many, it's not that many. So for most people, this is a lot of meds. Though.
Right.
Okay. So, it looks like his last one was like Depakote. Depakote is an antipsychotic that you take for bipolar disorder or lots of schizophrenia, lots of different things with bipolar.
So anyway, a lot of people. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you want me to go through these?
Yeah.
Or
Sorry,
not?
I didn't know I thought that was the end.
No, Depakote is the one he's on now. Lamictal, which is lamotrigine, which I'm on now. It shows it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times or something. Okay, and then he's on shit for like high blood pressure and things, which have nothing to do with his bipolar. Right. Hypertension, nausea, that can be from his meds. They put you on something to get rid of the nausea from your meds. Leg cramps, they put you on something like that.
Yeah, but that's from the
side effects,
right?
Side effects, yes.
Because when you took that, you said you got restless legs. And like for him, I know that was a thing for him too. Where like imagine being a goalie in the NHL, but like during sleep, you're just like...
You can't sleep.
Yeah.
You literally can't sleep. So it looks like he's on things for sleep. But for psych meds, Seroquel, he was on a long time ago. Risperidone is another one. 1, 2, 3, 4 that I see that are antipsychotics and not all at once.
So anyway, the reason is like a lot of people are worried about him because, if you read his messages, he's talks about basically there's hints there that he wants to commit suicide.
Yeah, it makes me sad. I see that. Yeah.
Right. He says it over and over. And what's also difficult is it sort of reminds me of Carrie from Homeland when she's bipolar in the movie. And when she was off of her meds, she would have like these crazy like grids of all these things that she understood. But like the layman looks at it and goes, huh? Right. So I think like...
But there is truth and there is something to that.
Right. I'm saying it makes sense to her and it's probably logical and all that. But like some of Robin's tweets, they're like really long walls of text. Right. And the story that he's telling is kind of all over the place, which is similar, which is what happens with the bipolar brain. Right.
Yeah, we go all over.
Yeah. So he's telling a story about these mafia guys that are trying to get to him. He's talking about his children. He's talking about the organization. He's talking about the coach. And it's all sort of like interloping. And I think it's difficult for people to understand what's going on. And it's also, it's difficult to know, like, you
got to, when you think about how your brain works, right?
Yeah.
And then say you have all these thoughts, like you have a bunch of your thoughts, but now times it by 100 with the speed.
Yeah.
The speed.
He doesn't, like, obviously in this, you could probably relate to this. Like you don't like when people mention, oh, you're bipolar, like, and that's why you're doing this kind of thing. But like in his case, like, I wonder, and I didn't ask him this, but like, it appears to me, right, that he's not stable he's not on medication.
100%.
You know, for sure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And probably when he's in that place, like, doesn't want to.
Well, I don't know that even if he might be in a place where he doesn't have the access or something, or he's like, no, he just doesn't have his meds. Maybe clearly he stopped taking them, and maybe he stopped taking them because he didn't want
like
them.
The way he wrote about those 12, like, that he didn't want to.
I didn't want them. Right.
Right. Sounds like they put me on these psychotropics or whatever. But I mean, clearly he needs them, right?
Yes. And like we always say, he doesn't need all of those. Probably he needs a few of those and they need to be tweaked to what he needs. But I was trying to explain this to you last night, and let me see if I can do this correctly. When you're in a manic episode of bipolar, they can get you out of that pretty quickly if you agree to it.
You have to go in.
Yes.
Like
he's clearly not doing that because he doesn't want to, because he's feeling all these feelings that he feels right now, that
he's feeling some fear too.
He's feeling fear, but all the feelings that he's feeling are real to him, even if they're not real. Maybe, you know, the paranoia and the people who are after him and all the things he's talking about, maybe that's real, but it's very exaggerated when you're in that state.
Whatever it is.
It's 1,000 times exaggerated.
Right. We have a friend who's also bipolar, who we won't name, but goes through the
paranoia.
Same thing. Yeah. He, like you said, with males, they're more likely, right? Mm-hmm. So with bipolar women don't have that as much. But
I think that if you look at the stats, I think the paranoia for men is worse. I don't know why, you know, it just is.
Because here's the thing. He says, you know, he's got receipts, he's got, you know, evidence and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what's difficult about this is this. There's obviously some truth to what he's talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely, like, some of the things that he's talking about happened.
Yeah.
To what level? Hard to know for sure.
Yes.
Is it all connected? Is he making assumptions? Like, he told me some things before, you know, about certain people within the organization. And again, it's like his perspective, right? And everyone's, you know, he's putting it all out there. He's at that place now.
Yeah, he's telling everybody everything he's feeling. Yeah. Right?
So I'm not sharing anything that, like,
I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm not. Like, I'm not sharing anything that, you know, he shared with me purpose.
But I think what I was trying to say is that when you're in a manic episode, if he decided that, you know, I can't do this anymore, I need help, and he goes in, they can give you an antipsychotic that can take you out of a manic episode, and it can happen in a day or a few days, and then you'll crash. And what happens is you crash into a really shitty depression after that. Yeah. But they can take you out of that, because that right now is very dangerous, being in a manic episode. You do all kinds of weird shit. You usually feel a lot of shame when you come out of it. You see all the things you've written and done, and you're like, oh my fucking God, like, I can't believe I did this, sort of thing. But the point is I feel bad for him because he can be helped easily to come out of that right now.
So that was what my question was going to be. So let's say I wanted to help him. What do I do?
Well, he has to agree to help.
So what do we do though?
You ask him if you'd like to go to a psychiatric facility. I mean, it's the only way. And they'll give you a psychiatric drug that he'll go to sleep after a couple days, and then he'll wake up feeling depressed, but more clarity.
So basically, all you can really do is encourage him to get help.
You have to have meds to come out of that.
Yeah. So that's it. Like, I mean, so basically, is there anything specific about the way that you would approach it, or how you would say it, or, you know?
That's the thing. I don't know where he is, like, mentally. I don't know him that well.
Well, I mean, you saw the tweets.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he speaks and, like, how he talks to you and how he would, like, react. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Right?
I've always known him to be, like, kind of a very loving, thoughtful, like, he's always trying to help other people.
Most bipolar people do.
Yeah, he really is.
It's a true thing.
He's always trying to help other people. He's always looking out for other people, whether it was in the NHL, random fans. Like, he would have DM discussions with random fans. Like, nobody does that sort of thing. Like, he was
sweet.
Super helpful with us.
I love him. I think he's sweet.
When he came to, I was talking to him before he became a Vegas Golden Knight. And, you know, he was super, like, trying to be helpful with you and your journey with what you've got going on and stuff like that. So I think he's a big heart, like a really big heart, like a big panda bear heart. And he's obviously struggling right now.
So maybe we should just reach out and ask if he wanted that help. Just see.
Yeah.
He might be in a place where there's some help right now that he can get to a place.
Yeah.
You know? And then he just you got to relax your brain for a few days. You know, you got to slow down. Yeah. And then you can start thinking clearly a little bit. But
the hardest thing is,
then you get hazy in that depression.
Yeah. Like, you look at two people that are big time celebrities, Kanye West and Britney Spears.
Well, and you see how she writes, right?
Yeah. They're so rich.
Yeah.
Kanye has also narcissistic personality disorder. Right?
Yeah, he's a different fucking
and he's
breed.
got in his mind, he's got evidence to prove I know what's best for me.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm a mogul.
Well, that's how
everything.
everybody feels.
Yeah. So when you look at like with those people, because of where they are in life, it's like you can't tell them shit. Like Brittany doesn't want to hear from nobody about what
that's up to her.
Yeah.
Right? If she wants to, that's where she is, and she wants to be in that state, and that's where she wants to be, and she's happy with that. You can't make people do things.
That's the hard part, right? It's like similar to what we talked about with your uncle or whatever. Like when people are, you can't help people unless they actually want to help themselves.
Yeah. There is one thing you can do. But Robin isn't here, so he can't do that. But and he might hate you for it. But if someone is a threat to themselves,
you can,
or to other people, yes, then you can call and you can have them, and they will put you on a 72-hour hold, no matter what.
Yeah,
they'll come get you, especially with what he's been saying, right? And they will take you to the hospital and they'll hold you in the psych ward for 72
hours. I can't imagine
hours.
what that would do to somebody who, let's say, somebody was being paranoid. Do that to them?
Well, it wouldn't, because you'd be so medicated. It would suck.
While it's happening. Until you get medicated. You'd be like, see, I told you they're after me.
Right.
There was another guy in poker years ago. His name was ADZ, Matt Marifiotti.
I remember this. Yeah.
I don't know if he was schizophrenic or bipolar.
Definitely not bipolar. It was something else. You told me.
I think he was schizophrenic.
Yeah. Because he was seeing things and stuff
So he went through that same, but it's funny because it's like when people do this, like it feels to me, like when you read Robin's tweets,
I get most of what he's saying.
It sounds to me like he's talking about the end, right?
Yes.
Matt Marifiotti, the clues were all there. So the story is he jumped off of a building and he's dead.
Oh no.
Okay? He killed himself. But, he said weeks before, they're going to kill me. They're going to come in after me. He had this in his head.
Wait, he did kill himself?
He did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or all the stories that he was, because if you look back, there's video of him saying, they're trying to get me. They're going to kill me. Just know that if I die, it's them, Yeah. But is it real? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's exaggerated. Maybe people were.
But he believed it. So what I think happened.
You always believe it.
I think what people ultimately came to, I don't know if somebody was there or whatever, but supposedly he was in a building. He thought somebody was coming for him, whether they were or not, and thought he needed to jump.
Sad.
So he jumped out.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
You were talking about how you said he's a big panda bear, Robin, and he's very sweet and empathetic person. And I said to you, most bipolar people are. I was going to tell you, I don't know if I told you when you're in Bahamas. Yeah, most people are. I was going to say, Johnny Depp's, the psychologist who did the trial for Johnny Depp, she became a star in the trial. Shannon Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about her before?
No.
Okay, so she became the star of the trial. Everybody knows who she is if you watch that. Time Magazine put something out about her immediately, and she was shocked. She was just on the Lex Friedman podcast, and I messaged her. Remember? I don't even remember what I said, but she wrote back the nicest message ever about bipolar people. Let me read it to you.
Sure.
Because it's really nice.
Okay. She's cool with you reading it?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's not like that. It's not personal or anything.
Yeah. Reading the
not
DMs?
Yeah. So I just told her she was great in the trial, but she also, how she speaks on her social media about people and who have bipolar and different disorders. She's so empathetic and sweet, and she's so good at her job and how she explains things.
Mm-hmm.
I just love her as a psychologist, right? So she says, I love this message. It sounds like we'll be great friends, actually. My dad had bipolar 1. I always say he actually had the bipolar disorder, not the kind everyone thinks they have. I also never met someone with bipolar disorder who I didn't like, truly. Such an indicator of genuine intelligence and creative capacity, coupled with the immense empathy and insight that only can come from immense suffering. Your thoughtfulness, genuineness, and scientific humility are refreshing and familiar to me. That's probably why you felt that way when you watched me on Lex. Just how nice she is, right? And she said, at any rate, I'm happy to connect. I just feel like she's somebody that we could talk to about kind of these things. If we ever wanted really great in-depth info. She's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
So I think people who have had suffering within their minds have an empathy that other people don't.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, people that are bipolar feel whatever your highest high or your lowest low is normal person. Yours is like 10 times, 100 times.
You feel so deeply about all the things that, you're feeling, just like Robin right now. He's feeling all this very deeply, whether it's legit or not. And I think that most of it probably is, but it's exaggerated in his mind.
Well, again, I think it's just difficult to know because, obviously when, it reminds like some of the Britney posts when she posts stuff. She talks about like, oh my God, strawberry ice cream. I never killed that guy. What? Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's all over the place.
Yeah. It's like, it bounces around a lot.
Yeah. And then if you just keep reading it, I'll understand it.
Yeah. When they write though, like that, it's like a little insight into their brain because it's as though you're reading how they're thinking it. They're just thinking it.
And there's no punctuation. It's just run on sentences.
Just a one paragraph. Yeah. Like you got to scroll 4 times.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I go back. To keep reading. Yeah, it's a mess, but that's what's happening in the brain. It's a mess. And that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
What he's feeling right now with all those thoughts that are just fucking racing, and he's just trying to get them out and get them out somehow. It feels awful for your brain to be racing that fast. And I think that's the only reason I went to when I had my major manic episode is that was what was happening to me. Every thought, it wouldn't stop and it would jump to something else, to this, to that, to that. And it wasn't important things.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, the chair and this and that. And then what am I going to do tomorrow? And this. And it wouldn't stop so much that like I would have done anything to make it stop. Like anything, any drug, anything anyone would have given me, I would have done it because it was so brutal. In my mind, I was just holding my head like this. Like it wouldn't go away. And I felt like I wanted to, I don't know. It was a bad time. But I took Seroquel, the one we were talking about earlier. They gave me a big dose of Seroquel to come out of that. And I slept for like 2 days. I went into a deep depression, but then I had clarity about like all the shit that I'd been thinking. So he needs something.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to think we're talking bad about him or like anything like that. I would like to help.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll message him. We good?
Yeah. You bored?
No, I'm not. I've been sick since I got home.
You looked bored.
What?
That's how you're going to look at the doctor tomorrow.
Oh, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
You don't like the way I look at the doctor. You're like, because I look down.
You do, man. It's almost like a little kid in kindergarten that you're trying to make pay attention. So you're like, you're jerking on the back of their shirt.
What is the difference?
You're like pulling them over, like fucking.
So what do you think's gonna happen if like I'm like
nothing? You're an embarrassment. That's what it is.
All right, you want me to be like, you know why? Because like I told you,
I want you to be interested.
The less I talk, the faster it'll fucking go.
No, I want you to be interested.
The more I talk, right? The longer that it goes. They got to give us information. I'll sit and take the information, and when they're done, they're done.
I don't like it when you sound smart-assed. That like you don't like where you are. That sort of thing. Because guess what? We have another appointment with an attorney tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you ready for that?
What time's that at?
2.
Oof. Right when you wake up.
No, I got to go to the doctor in the morning.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
God, you see, you don't listen to anything that I'm fucking saying, man.
What?
Never.
You go to the doctor. What time?
My appointment's at 10:45.
Okay. Am I coming?
You don't have to do anything. Don't even want you there. So I have to have blood work tomorrow and the ultrasound inside me while on my period, people. Yeah. Awful.
It's called the inner ultrasound.
Inner ultrasound, yeah. That blood work. You know what I was going to say? One more thing, though, is do you know how much blood we have in our bodies?
No.
Guess. How many liters would you have in your body? Oh, you love math. How many liters?
I'm terrible at these questions.
How many liters of blood do you think you have in your body? This is fun.
106.
6.
What?
6.
I said 6.
6. 5 to 6. Or 4 to 5 as a woman. It's not much at all, right?
No.
And I think about that and I think, I'm bleeding so much right now. And I'm going to go give blood tomorrow. I already feel like I'm fucking dying of like an iron deficiency.
Okay.
And now I'm going to have to go and do that.
I'll take you then.
You want to come?
No, but I will.
I don't want you to come. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't want you to come. You're just going to be an asshole.